Hello. Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sadhana. For those of you who are new to this channel, welcome. I am an intuitive reader and healer, and I have been diving into a Lenormand series for the past 20 something weeks and really enjoying the journey, going back and taking my time and doing more Lenormand readings than ever. And part of that is exploring, getting to know decks that I haven't used for a while, and also finding new Lenormand decks, new to me. And today I want to share with you one that I just happened to come across on Etsy, and I loved the colors of it. Was very enchanted with this deck, and I decided to also purchase the mini version, but I purchased the mini version in a different color. And so I thought I would go through and show you side by side, and we'll look at the mini deck, we'll look at the regular deck. And these are from 2021. So this is the third edition of Middia Lenormand. I was not aware of it when it first came out. This is the creator, Klara Spalinska, is in Poland, and it's yeah, and it came here so fast, and I just think it was really reasonably priced for the distance that the deck traveled. So enjoy. This is a deck that, of course, I will be doing 3 voice readings, probably with Lily White Tarot. When we start to look at this deck, you'll see that this is very much in my aesthetic. I love watercolor, and this is just, it's really beautiful. So the larger version of the deck, which is a standard Lenormand size, and I will show you when we get to the cards and compare it to, I'll get the Piatnik out here so you can compare it to that. So this one comes in a 2-part box, and it's not stuck. This is the inside of the box, which has the rider card on one side, follow your way. So that's kind of nice. And then this is the little tuck box for the mini version of the deck. And there is no little white book with the mini version of the deck. And this to me seems like a tremendous expense for the creator, but with the full-size version of the deck, we have the little white book in 3 languages. So it is in Polish, French, and English. And we'll have a look at that towards the end of the video. We'll look at some of the details in the book. This is the standard size card. And I'll just open the Piatnik. I know this is a favorite deck of many people. So it's a little wider than the Piatnik, just by a few, I'm going to say 1 centimeter wider. And I have any other minis on my table? I don't. Oh, I do. I have the 1889. I know that's a popular mini, so we can compare 1889 with this mini, and I know it's a different size as well too. So it is both a little bit taller and a little bit wider than the 1889. Okay, so this is what we're going to look at today. I noticed in the little white book that Klara mentions she bumped the color in this version of the deck. And she says, yeah, so if you have an older version of the deck, it might not be quite as colorful as this one. Oh, this is the 36th card. Let's do this. And then I can take them off one by one. Okay. And apparently the rider changed as well too. So in the older version of the deck, there is a different rider, and there were alternate lady man cards, and there are no longer alternate lady and man cards. So yeah, so hi again, Tamian, Erica, welcome. Hi, Joseph. So this is, I'm really intrigued with this deck. I've been using it a lot. I just actually just got this one today. I ordered it a while back and I was going to share it last week, but it didn't come. And so I'm using this today. And you know what? I'm really into, hello, Evelyn. I love mini decks and I'm going to continue to look for mini versions of Lenormand because it's so great when you can put out a full table of, easily put out a grand tableau. And this one, we have the playing card associations on it. And the mini, as I'm sure you're aware, if you've got the mini 1889, it does not have playing card associations. And my other mini deck, do I have it here? I have 3 mini Lenormands. This is the lavender, and it does not. So this is the lavender Lenormand. It does not have playing card associations either. So that for me, that's a real bonus with, if you've been following along in the series, that's a real bonus for me that the little one does have that included on it. They're tiny. They're tiny on both cards, but I also just noticed you don't have the border either. Kind of like this without the border. So this is the mini sepia, and this is the present colored third edition. I'll talk about cardstock a little bit later too. I find these cards really, really beautiful. And I'm going to go back to her Etsy page, and seems to me she has created a tarot deck. I'm going to go back and have a look at it. Because this, to me, this is really beautiful. Just really beautiful. And her, like that, we see the M on the sail of the ship. I'm going to flip and then look in the camera. That's easier for me to look at it. This is obviously a house that's been around for some time. You know, it's funny. It almost looks as if, maybe not. I was going to say it looks like it's a little run down. Yes, that's so true, Evelyn. Mini decks mean when you travel, you have more room for more decks. This is true. And this is a favorite card. I love the birch. You might see this is an aspen tree. I know they have a similar bark, but this is so beautiful. And I think that was a really good choice to leave off the line border on the mini deck. Change of name on the snake card. So the snake is a viper. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you her notes on this particular card just so you can get a flavor. I will read the English one because I don't read Polish and my French pronunciation is pathetic. Okay, Viper. Beware of insidious woman, says the classical interpretation of this card. I say the Viper is the nature itself. Simplicity, action, and reaction. Needless to say, it is dangerous, so don't touch it if you don't want to be hurt. So for those of you that read the Lenormand, you can see that she has some personal interpretations for the cards, but the 36 cards are the traditional cards, just except for this renaming. And yeah, so it reads really, really well. So whether you read this as meandering, a winding path, or you read this as an insidious woman or a professional woman, there's lots of different interpretations for the snake. Not necessarily a woman either, even though it is the Queen of Spades. Coffin. So this works well. If you read direction with coffin, we have a clear end of the coffin towards us. It is. It's useful. So I'm just reading Evelyn's comment that it's nice that she shares her personal interpretation, and we'll look at a couple more of them as well too. The bouquet is beautiful. Let's look at the bouquet actually. As we've been doing lots and lots of readings in the Lenormand group, the energy of the bouquet it represents a gift among many other things. And one thing that came up, so we were talking about decorating for decorations. We were talking about makeup and different things. And I remember being a little surprised in a couple of readings where it felt like the energy of the bouquet was a false adornment. And that was something I'm not sure that I've ever picked up with the bouquet. Klara says, when do you get flowers? I would say when someone congratulates you. So the bouquet gives some information. Someone wishes you good. It's an important day and full of surprises. I think the traditional simply is a gift. And if you read near and far too, well, we're not going to get into that today. Now, this is interesting. So with the Scythe card, we see a hand and a jacket, or some sort of a uniform. It does not look like a farmer's scythe. I'm trying to figure out what kind of a scythe this looks like. Yeah. So anyway, scythe is irrevocable action. Something that is swiftly cut. It is not the moon card. Whip. Birds. So on birds, there are two in the distance and one in front. And I have to say my preference really is to see two birds in the foreground. And then it doesn't really matter how many birds are in the background, because this card can represent pairs and doubles, couples and things like that. So Lenormand is read as Lenormand. I mean, you can bring in your own interpretations and read it as an oracle. But I just thought I'd share that with you. Here's the child card. And I have made this part of a playlist, so you can look back at some of the other. I haven't reviewed very many Lenormand decks, but there is a playlist that you can check out. It's a very pretty fox, as is the bear. Isn't she a beautiful artist? Beautiful artist. And you know what? I really like this because I have about 3 different Lenormand decks that have a polar bear, and I really don't like the polar bear. Now I've seen this before on other Lenormand decks where the star is not the stars in the sky, and I don't like it. It feels different. This feels like a treasure. This feels like an adornment. The star is the star is the star. But this just makes it, if you're reading intuitively, it's easier to go in a different direction. And I really do like a deck that has the stars in the sky. The stork represents change, and I always prefer a flying one, but this is gorgeous. She really does draw animals well. And here's the dog. For the few cards in this deck that I don't like, this is one I absolutely love. I think this garden card is amazing. Does she call it garden? Yes, garden. It's just beautiful. Mountains. Mountain. So here, rather than seeing the paths on the ground, we're seeing the signpost. I just had a really funny idea for a Lenormand deck. Mice. Heart is a tattoo. I'm going to go back to I'm reading the comment about the crossroads. The chat's a little bit delayed, but let's just go back to this one. So it's nice to see the path on the ground because you can connect that to connect, right? You can connect that to connecting cards. But this one, I suppose you could use the signposts as pointers pointing to other cards. But yeah, I understand your comment, Erica. Ring. By adding the candle in this card. So if you're not familiar with Lenormand, frequently the book is closed. This particular card refers to secrets and a bit of mystery. And with the book open, it has a slightly different energy. But with the candlelight there, it's like reading at night. It has that energy of reading underneath the blankets. You know, reading with a flashlight underneath the blankets when you were told to go to sleep when you were a little kid. I don't know if you did that, but there's something about reading by candlelight that matches the mystery of this particular card. So I quite like the book card. And then letter. And the man and the lady cards are called he and she. I don't know what that tattoo is on his. Oh, it's angel wings. It's wings. The tattoo is wings. So we see him from the back and we see her from the front. Lilies. Beautiful. And I'll just show you sun and moon in contrast. And it's funny, the last deck that I looked at, the last deck I reviewed, I was disappointed in the moon card as well too. last couple of weeks ago, I went through the Magpies Lenormand. And in the Magpies, there's so many beautiful moons like this one. And this is the moon card. And I just felt a little bit disappointed. And I don't particularly like the moon card. I think this card could easily be confused with clouds. It's just doesn't feel right in some way. So there's sun and moon. And I think we're looking at a close-up of the moon here. I agree, Joseph. I think it's not a great card. Key. I think it's funny that this is held on a hand, but also just having a key. I think, what's your favorite interpretation of the key card? I think if a key is opening a box or opening a door, I like that. And then fish. And I have to say, I'm just going to go through the Piatnik. I'm sure this is the one that has the net. Oh no, this one doesn't. This isn't the one I was thinking of. I think it's the Bluebird or one of the other more traditional decks that has a net full of fish. One of the meanings for the fish is abundance. And here we have a very healthy fish, that's for sure. And there's two fish. Here is the anchor. It's an awful small boat to have an anchor. And then you saw this. I had a sneak peek of this. The cross with thorns. I kind of like that the cross is on the top of a mountain. Kind of like that. Yeah. Okay, so cardstock quality, shuffleability, all of that. Let's have a look at that. It is, how would I describe this? It's nice cardstock. I have nothing to complain about. I think these need a lavender or pink edge to them. They shuffle, right? It's only 36 cards, so kind of easy to shuffle, right? It's a little bit on the cardboardy side, but it's fine. And if you don't riffle shuffle, then that is not an issue. Oh, here's the backs. So those are the colored backs. Those are the sepia backs. And the mini decks. So even mini decks, I like to riffle shuffle them. They're tiny. And so you want to be mindful that you don't bend the cards. But it does put a bow in them. So you kind of need to back bridge it or bend them back the other way. But they shuffle really well. And it's the same cardstock as the other cards. So let's do a 3-card reading. Okay. Let's do a 3-card reading. And I forgot to say full moon blessings to all of you. I have just had such a wonderful day. I made a birthday cake for my partner. It's his birthday tomorrow, and I'm making a Black Forest cake. So the chocolate cakes the layer cakes are all made, and I've got the cherry filling on the stove. And I put a lot of energy into the garden today. And I'm going to go and put some crystals in the garden after the Facebook Live later. I don't know, there's something really special about this Guru Purnima. I love this one. And I hope I am awake later because I want to go for a midnight swim in the moonlight later. If I can stay awake, that's my intention. So here is a message for all of you on this 13th day of July, 2022. In the light of the full moon, it's not showing where I am till almost midnight. It was at its fullness Pacific time about 11 a.m. Oh yes, and I answered emails and did a bunch of other stuff too, but you know, I did some really fun stuff today. I have to say Amber's been a little neglected, so if I do go for a midnight swim, I will be sure to take her with me, except it's hard. If she takes off, it's hard to find her. All right, so we have ship, travel, foreigners, repetitive travel, challenging travel. Let's see what the third card is. I might take this into a 9 card. I think I'm going to do that. Okay. This feels like challenges with passports and things like that. Are any of you traveling? What does this have to do with the blessings of the full moon? Well, one thing that's coming to mind, so this, for me, this is also a card of perspective, seeing things from on high, being aware of a bird's eye view. So if you are having challenges with commodities, with deliveries, or if there's something to do with travel plans that are, or traveling itself, that things are not going easily, to make sure that you're looking from a big picture view, because that might be needed. And then if I think about full moon energy, right? So full moon energy is full illumination. While it still is dark and shadows are created in the light of the full moon, there's something about the fullness of it. And I cannot believe the card that we drew tonight for the full moon for the Facebook group. It was just like, wow, this makes me, the more and more I do this work, I feel like the more and more I am astounded at the synchronicities. I really am. Let's lose the banner and then we can see all 9 cards. I think you know who I am. Where's my banner? Oh, this is the funny one with the flowers on it. Okay, there we go. We'll hide that. Okay, so I'm going to do 9 cards. All right. Garden. So the birds are going to be in the center. Communication is important. Communication is vital to your gathering. Is anybody organizing a reunion, a family reunion? The tower over top of the house. What does that feel like to you? It's like a coolness, or what is that? The woman is down at the bottom. The she is down at the bottom. So we can take that to be us. Okay. I want to make this about a message from the full moon. So the moon is not there. So the child. Okay. A fresh is something cutting away at your femininity, is something cutting away at your, is something, when I see this next to the female card, I'm wondering if there is, it's such weird language. I want to say something is hurting your femininity. There's challenges to. So today I had a very feminine day, right? I was baking. I was in the garden. Is there something that's impeding you, cutting into your me time, cutting into your self-care time, cutting into your uh, time to yourself? I guess that's what I'm thinking here. Repeated communications are being, and this is funny, in Canada, I don't know if you're aware, we had a communication breakdown. One of the main media, Rogers Media, had a 2-day outage or something. A lot of people that use that server lost their internet, lost their cellular service for 2 days. It was a really big deal. And so now the Canadian radio, whatever, the organization that oversees all cellular networks, is going to put in place back, if this ever happens again, that there's backup support. And you know what? This feels like, when I'm looking at the big picture, this is still speaking to the energy of Roe versus Wade, which is also an important part of government choices affecting families, right? So, okay, let's put this together. I want to give you a couple of sentences just to take with you, because I was asking about, in the luminosity of this full moon that is dedicated to Guru, dispeller of darkness, shining light, and encouraging us to be in the light. What is this? What does this big picture feel like? And it's a reminder that there are challenges amidst there are challenges amidst the comfort. When I look at these two cards in the center of the reading, they feel it feels kind of beautiful and peaceful. And then we look at the challenges that connect. Okay. Yeah. This is definitely not easy. I was looking for a supportive, reassuring message. So a new event, a new event, a new event. Perhaps there is some red tape that is affecting a new event that you are organizing. Perhaps this event has something to do with family. If you were planning a family trip, Be mindful of communication. I also, with this central line here, I'm feeling like be discriminate. Be discriminate in your emails. Be discriminate in your text messages. These are two very challenging cards around communication. So communication feels really important on this day. And within the 72 hours of the full moon, you want to be mindful of your text messages and your communication. I feel like staying close to home. Staying close to home is also would be in order. Okay. Well, let me know if anything arises for you with that, okay? Seems like a trip or a reservation that could end up being canceled due to prior communication or because family needs you. Yeah, there's some sort of conflict there. So if that applies to you and something shows up, please let me know, okay? I have planned a few deck reviews. So those, if you're interested, I'll be doing those on Wednesdays at this time. And oh, I have one more thing to show you. One more thing before I sign off. I also ordered this bag from Klara, this pouch. And I'm going to show you how the both decks fit into this pouch. Okay, so this is the full-size deck. And it fits in nicely. It's a cotton blend. It's well sewn. It's actually a cool pattern. I might use this pattern. And then let's get the little deck. I'll show you how much space there is with the mini deck in here. So it's quite a large pouch for the mini deck, but I think it's works. And the mini deck, of course, would also fit in here with the in its box as well too. But the box for the larger deck would not fit in here. And oh, I said I was going to show you the little guidebook. So the little guidebook is an accordion sheet, and it has a lovely introduction, and then the card meanings. And there's a little bit of information if you've never done just a tiny bit of information about Grand Tableau and a 3-card reading. So this is the little white book that comes with it. Okay. Oh, so there was something there for you, Erica. Okay, well, that's good to know. Good to know. All right, take good care of yourselves. Full moon blessings to everyone. And if you're going to chime in for the Facebook chat a little bit later, I'll see you then. Okay, bye everybody. Namaste.